Hi guys, I want to talk to you about why solitary confinement should be banned. Solitary confinement is a form of punishment used by prisons to isolate select inmates from the rest of the prison population. Imagine being surrounded by the same four walls long enough that you forget how sunlight feels on your skin. You're not allowed to be around others, and the struggle for toilet paper is real. Well, solitary isolation is so much worse than social distancing. At least you have your family, and the Charmin Ultra Strong Bears. And you can take walks. Solitary inmates don't have these freedoms. For 23 hours, they're confined to a cell so narrow they can touch both walls when their arms are extended. They're only allotted 1 hour a day for exercising in a cage if they haven't turned into celery sticks by then. They're not permitted to talk to anyone, including the guards. COVID-19 patients in prisons are left to fend for themselves. This all supposedly promotes character reformation, prison safety, and gives guards a variety of punishments to dole out. Does creating another Guantanamo Bay humanely and efficiently accomplish these things? A Harvard study showed that almost a third of solitary inmates experience impaired thinking and concentration, memory loss, and overt paranoia, becoming, quote, acutely psychotic and/or suicidal. So just like us right before finals. In an interview for an HBO film, ex-prisoners described their experience in solitary as being buried alive. They felt a rage that builds and builds to the point where they expressed extreme anger and frustration over trivial things like not having enough salt in their food tray. Basically, you are imprisoned as a danger to society. Now let's discharge you with serious mental health impairments in worse shape than when you came. How can prison be, quote, a second chance when we don't allow ex-prisoners to build new healthy lives for themselves? Since rehabilitation requires human interaction, character reformation becomes almost impossible. In fact, inmates will often choose to pass their time in solitary as quickly as possible, which doesn't allow for much self-reflection. We complained that Hunter was a brick prison, but now I'm sure most of us would prefer that to seeing a hydra of Charlie heads every day, as if one Charlie wasn't enough. We're already fed up, and it hasn't even been 2 months. Solitary in the US can last for years. Black and Latino inmates are more likely to get sent to solitary and for longer periods of time. High-risk prisoners, like those pressured to join gangs, shouldn't be in solitary, quote, for their own good. Solitary inmates with existing mental health issues belong in a psychiatric ward, better suited for their needs. Clearly, not all inmates are kept in solitary just to preserve prison safety. We should separate inmates according to the crimes they committed instead of lumping them together and then not thinking of the consequences. Why not reward positive behavior and utilize alternative forms of punishment, delaying parole dates, assigning extra prison duties, and revoking privileges? For some perspective, here's how Finland treats their prisoners.
Nearly half of Finland's prisons are open. Minimum security facilities where inmates like these men can leave the prison to work or shop during the day,
shopping day,
and return each evening. Finland's prison system, with its regular and open prisons, has one of the lowest prison population rates in the world. The US has the second highest. In Finland, only 57 people out of 100,000 are incarcerated. In the US, that number is 666.
Unless you think people just happen to be nicer in Finland, we clearly have a lot of work to do. Our Eighth Amendment is supposed to protect people from cruel and unnecessary punishment. Why are we picking and choosing which parts of the Constitution to follow? It's not up to us to decide whether prisoners deserve to be tortured or not. How can we be an advanced world power with a strong democracy when we don't treat prisoners like human beings? Da-da-dum-dum-dum-dum.